Kia ora everyone, so LEGO have just revealed a new Captain America set, a couple of them actually, that released this December. The movie doesn't come out until February of next year. They revealed these very quickly after the sets actually leaked a few days ago. I don't know how well structured this video here will necessarily be, but I have some thoughts on both how awful the set here is that you can see on screen, and I have some concerns about the movie and what's been going on with Anthony Mackie seemingly being used in the marketing here, which does have a relation to what we see in this set. There are timestamps down below for all those interested. Let's start talking about some controversial topics. The set here is set number 76292, Captain America vs. Red Hulk battle, which seemingly includes all of the important stuff that you want to see here from the movie. There's a little jet of some kind, Captain America and Falcon included there, that racist figure inclusion, and also a brand new Red Hulk figure. Despite the full package set here, it only contains 223 pieces in total, and it retails for the highest price point that LEGO could possibly think of, 55 USD or 100 NZD. $100 here for this set. Now, everything that I'm showing here on screen is every set that I found on lego.com that costs less than 75 NZD, cheaper than this set, and every set on screen also contains more pieces, ranging from as low as an extra 100 additional pieces or as high as an extra 500 additional pieces. The images of the child here holding the set are just incredible to me. This here is what should be a $25 USD set at best, but the inclusion of a big fig here is what causes this thing to apparently double in its price. It seems ridiculous to me, and I really hope everyone here votes with their wallets and skips out on this until LEGO are forced to lower that price, which they have been forced to do with a couple of sets recently over the past few years. It's amazing to see what would be a traditional $25 Ninjago set is being priced at double here if it's Marvel related. It's just been really disgusting lately to see the current state of this company. I've been echoing the sentiment for a few years now, but LEGO is very clearly no longer for the masses, and it's definitely not a toy for the younger audiences anymore. LEGO essentially stopped targeting the younger audience once we entered the 2020s, and they introduced the LEGO Adults line. Seeing as how that audience is definitely where the money is, families surely can't be justifying these triple-digit prices on such small novelty items. It's hard to ignore the price when looking at the jet build here. I just recently looked at some older LEGO Avengers sets, and there was a small jet included in one of the playsets I covered on this channel. It feels like a pretty good equivalent alternative to this one. That set there also included the big fig of Hulk. Now the key difference there being that this helicarrier build was the main draw, not the tiny jet. LEGO in my eyes seem to have lost their ways recently from what these things used to look like when I was a kid, and I just can't imagine what the kids today think when they eventually grow up and see how good things were before they existed. The set here does include a new Red Hulk figure as a big fig, and it's probably the most appealing thing here for a lot of people. The figure here looks really nice compared to the original one, which we saw in a comics-based set a good few years ago now, and that figure has become quite sought after in the aftermarket space. The designs here are different now, where the head and hair pieces are removable, and we have a bit more detail in the face design since this is based on the actor likeness of Harrison Ford. Let's talk about Captain America here and his inclusion and what's been happening with this movie and the marketing with Sam's representation. A while ago, it was revealed in press images that this would be the brand new costume for Sam in this film. Now the movie isn't out yet, so I can't comment on just how much of the film he appears like this, mind you. From what we've seen in the trailers, his face is on full display for a good amount of scenes. I do still have some concerns here though. I'm going to assume that most people watching this know what the deal is with marketing movies like this in overseas territories. Disney have famously been very cowardly when it comes to the importance of representation in their marketing. Famously recently, Disney have been allowing the targeted harassment of actors from people online. These international Black Panther posters here hiding Chadwick Boseman's appearance seem to pop up every now and then on the internet, and then there's also these Force Awakens posters that removed Finn from the advertising. Now that Anthony Mackie appears in the lead role of one of these Marvel movies, suddenly Sam has a helmet which he uses for flying, something that he never needed in the last 10 years of appearing in these movies. When Mackie was one of the leads in his own TV show, he did appear with no mask and even had toys and a minifigure made depicting him as Captain America, not hiding his identity. And so I'm left here wondering what the difference is between a TV show and a movie. Seeing this over the past year has been pretty soul crushing for me. I don't know how Anthony Mackie feels about this whole thing or if he has any opinion whatsoever, but seeing these two figures here side by side, the new one here just feels like the most generic nobody inclusion, and that's not a good feeling to have with a very important movie releasing like this. It's worth keeping in mind here that LEGO did essentially just make a figure of the character as depicted in the movie. I think the figure is a bad one, but realistically, it's just them following the design that they were told to follow, and I can't really fault LEGO for just doing what they were told. Courtesy of Ash and Flash here, we actually do see that the figure does include a reversible head, so you can have his likeness depicted here, but shockingly, I had to find out through a YouTuber and not from the box of the set itself. On top of all that, we also have the inclusion here of Ruth Bat-Seraph, aka Sabra, who has just been linked in controversy since this was announced, and this is where things are just really wild for a lot of us because LEGO have been trying to keep out of controversial inclusions whenever they possibly can for a good few years now. I feel like they've been working overtime on this. We had a Temple of Doom set that was cancelled last year, which I was really excited for. Supposedly a Flash movie set was also cancelled and reworked into the 1989 Batmobile set. All of this is just speculation, of course, but lately LEGO have been extra careful about the products that they've been releasing. So why is she being included here? There's a lot of baggage here that surround this character, so I'll try to just keep it brief and leave the important links down below. This character's inclusion has ultimately led to upsetting both sides here. From the get-go, she was always written to be a positive role model for Israelis, a character that was linked to patriotism for the people, though her goals and storylines were often viewed as racist because, to quote, she represents the idea of trying to fight for good and trying to fight terrorism, but then the terrorism that she's always fighting just happened to be Arabs and Muslims. Marvel went through some reshoots just as recent as a few months back to change the character's lineage and backstory, and now in the film she'll be appearing as a former Black Widow agent, which has upset both sides now since A, the character is still being included, thus upsetting those who were already disappointed to begin with, and B, the character now no longer has the same ties and relations to her home grounds, thus upsetting those who were always supportive. The minifigure inclusion is completely unnecessary for this set. LEGO have never shied away from skipping out on figure inclusions before, so to see this controversial inclusion here has me stunned. On top of that, the figure is just really boring anyway, with an awful design for her legs and a very outdated hairpiece. The figure's quality just does not justify the inclusion here for me. And quickly before we wrap things up here, they did reveal 2 additional sets here. This construction figure, which is from the line that LEGO have been pushing hard these past couple of years, and a set of Brickheadz figures, still going strong all these years later. The construction figures have always been disappointing and awful for me. I'm surprised to see that they're still going, but clearly they must be selling with the younger demographic. LEGO have been trying this idea countless times ever since I was 10 years old, and from my perspective, these have always been failures with the community. It contains 359 pieces total, so more than the actual Jet set, and the price here in NZ is $55, which is a lot less than the actual Jet set. Despite having more pieces, he also costs less than the Steve Rogers Captain America figure, and I'm led to believe that this must be due to that face print. Repeating what I was talking about earlier then here, Sam features no likeness whatsoever. He wears that awful mask that hides his identity from the consumers, and I already hated these things, but it just makes it worse for me. But speaking of making things worse, the Brickheadz set here actually appears somewhat decent. It's got some standard Brickheadz designs that I think have always just been adequate. They've never really sold me per se, but here we actually see Sam depicted the way that he should be. The likeness here is on full display alongside Red Hulk, so it makes the inconsistency between these sets rather frustrating for me, thus making it worse. The assumption here is that LEGO were just doing what they were told. They were told what designs to be used for the minifigures, and for the construction figure, and for the Brickheadz. For whatever reason, these designs do not match one another, and I am left disappointed. I don't really know what the general consensus here is with these sets. The only people that I've seen give this thing even a little bit of praise are those who received the set entirely for free from LEGO and were not required to spend their own money on the product. Honestly, all the power to them. That is an incredible privilege that I wish I could partake in. The fact of the matter is, I don't want to spend 100 of my dollars that I earn from this channel. Whatever your thoughts are on the set though, you should let me know down below. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel here helps to support more future videos like this one. Thank you very much for watching everybody, ka kite ano, take care, and I hope to see you all next time.